Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talking Nerdy podcast. I am Aaron.
I am Travis.
Hey, yo, it's your boy. We're out here, doing this podcast. It's Miguel, by the way. I'm the guest voice, I guess.
Long time no see.
It's been a while, yeah.
We haven't had you on the channel since, kind of the latter end of the Nerd Herders versus Retro games.
It's always a surprise when I'm going to get recorded.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's true. We never really tell you ahead of time.
No, you don't, but I don't care. It's
You just came over today and
like
we're like,
it.
so we're doing a
It's
podcast,
fun.
Miguel.
Thank you. Thank you for telling me. I'm looking forward to it.
So today's topic is going to be the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Yes.
This upcoming Friday, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is coming out, so we figured we would talk about the franchise.
Is that what it's called?
Up until
I keep
this
forgetting.
point.
I've been calling it the Greece one.
Well, yeah, because it's called Odyssey because of the Greek.
Yeah, I get
myth.
that.
Yeah.
I just keep forgetting because
Yeah.
because I just forget.
I got
I'm
you.
looking forward to it. It looks completely fresh and
Yeah.
new, but not new at the same time. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it because
Me too.
They always make these little changes in the games, and granted, I didn't play through Origins, but I heard significant changes were made, and I heard that it was a good game for
I
it.
played a bit. I really like it. The combat system's different. Like to attack, it's R1 and R2 for different attacks. It's
Okay.
not like square and circle. And
So that's
stuff.
almost like a God of War.
Yeah, I didn't play God of War, but watching you play it is kind of similar, where you have your attack and then your big attack and then your block attack. And,
Yeah.
did they still keep the kind of patrolling security kind of game?
Oh yeah. There's
do stealth stuff.
There's the guards. There's a lot of stealth stuff. The hay bales. You hide in the bushes.
Yeah.
It's really cool. With Origins, you've got your eagle. So the eagle vision. You don't have eagle vision. You have an eagle.
Oh,
that literally looks down.
Uh-huh.
So you literally get an eagle's eye view.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So do you have to?
You
still
control the
climb,
bird.
Do you have to still climb up something tall to look down and get
you
your
just
map and all
launch
that?
your eagle, and the eagle flies up above.
Yeah.
Oh, but are you talking
Marks
about
your
the
target.
synchronization points?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, unlocking the map and stuff.
I guess I probably didn't make it far enough. I have not played much.
Because at a certain point in the games, at least the ones I played, I never really played the
You need the sync points. Yeah.
Well, I forget which ones they were.
Let's
The
establish
Brotherhood ones,
Syndicate,
but
Unity.
Let's
Yeah.
establish which games we've played.
Okay.
First of all,
I played the
Okay,
first.
Miguel. Yeah.
Sorry, dude. I played the first two, the first three, and then Black Flag, and then yeah. That was
Okay.
it.
Okay.
So I've played through about 3/4 of Assassin's Creed 1, all of number 2, all of Brotherhood, all of Revelations, all of number 3. I've played through, I'd say, about 3/4 of Black Flag. I've played through about 1/3 of Syndicate. And yeah, those are the games that I've played.
I did about half of the first one, all of number 2, the Ezio trilogy.
Yeah.
Ezio
Brotherhood, Revelations. I did beat Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
I borrowed it from you.
The first
I never
the
touched.
first three were great.
Yeah.
Just back to back.
I never touched Syndicate. I played about half of Unity. I beat Black Flag, and then I played 4 hours of Origins.
Okay.
I had so much fun with
It's
Black
pretty good
Flag.
coverage between
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
That one was so much fun.
Well, okay, so let's go around. What's your guys' favorite games?
Ooh.
Which is your favorite
Okay.
one, Aaron?
Oh man,
If you had a favorite.
probably Brotherhood
Yeah?
with Ezio, the second one. Yeah.
How about you, Miguel?
I don't know. I guess I'll say Black Flag since I just said I really like that one.
Yeah.
Black Flag is close to me.
I just like it because
Close second,
it's
because-
everything that I want from an Assassin's Creed game.
Plus a
Plus
pirate
naval
game.
warfare.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
awesome.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would say Black Flag as well, but that's the one game for me personally that I think this isn't so much an Assassin's Creed game as it is a pirate game that has Assassin's Creed underlying themes.
And let me
Yeah.
just make it clear that because I'm just trying not to be confused, but that's the one where you are Native American, hunt pelts. and
No,
stuff.
that's Assassin's Creed 3. Black Flag is when you're Connor Kenway, the pirate.
Who's
Okay,
the Native American guy's
Black
grandfather?
Flag. I like Black Flag.
Yeah.
I was making
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
the same games.
So-
they all kind of blend in my head sometimes.
Yeah.
For me, my favorite one is Assassin's Creed Revelations when Ezio's an old man because
In Istanbul?
Yeah. You know, it's one of those things where it's like so many games had led up to it at that. Well, I say so many. You had Assassin's Creed 2 where we meet Ezio, Brotherhood where you see him reach kind of his peak as an assassin.
Which is why I like that one, because the Assassin's like guild, you can summon people, and
you can do more or less the same exact thing as Brotherhood in Revelations. But I am one of apparently a few people that enjoyed the hook claw, launching yourself with that as you're climbing.
Yeah.
I liked those kind of missions where it's like you've got your guys in the streets and there's an enemy force coming through and you have to kind of stop them. It's one of those kind of strategy-based games. There's a lot of mobile games that are based on that concept. And I like the story of Ezio kind of reaching this point where it's like, I can't carry on the mantle anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm literally too old to do this.
Well, and he has to use his brain more than his brawn.
Exactly.
And so it's a different type of game.
Exactly.
He's got a lot more like tech and stuff that he's going to work with.
It's kind of similar to like Logan, I would say, where it's like you've got this character who's been so just badass his whole life and like, you know, iconic, but he's hitting that age where it's like, oh God, I can't do this, my back, you know?
Yeah.
And I love those tropes. Exactly.
Well, and Revelations had that really just like, oh my God moment where Ezio speaks to Desmond Miles directly.
Yep.
Like through hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And like is aware of the existence of this precursor race and like aliens and stuff. And he's just like, I mean, what else is this guy gonna like? It doesn't even faze him.
Oh.
He's like, I don't understand this, but you're there, and like, it's just like, what?
The ancient aliens reveal is what I like most about the story.
Yeah.
Because of like my interest in all that shit. You know?
Yeah.
Because that approach is just so good to me. It's just so good.
And the whole apocalypse thing, and then Desmond dying, since that happened at the end of Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
They've barely even touched on it.
Yep.
Really?
Black Flag, when you're out of the Animus, you're in a video game company.
Yeah.
That's right.
The reason you're in the Animus is you're capturing footage for a video game about
You basically
pirates.
work for IGN.
Well, it's based on Ubisoft's Montreal place.
Yeah. What if I told you we were all in a simulation?
I didn't make it out of the Animus in Origins. I don't know what you can do, because when you die, it's still like desynchronized and stuff. But there's no story that
there's not really a mention of an alternate person that's like witnessing this.
I don't know. I really liked when Desmond and his team would go to the same locations that you're playing as in the past, in the present day, and he's jumping around skyscrapers and stuff, and there's still this sense of urgency to like find all the clues, because shit's going down in the real world.
I really enjoyed looking at like the secret messages and piecing all the puzzles together. That's what I liked most about, well, not most, but that's also what I liked about them.
Yeah,
the older ones,
It's just, it brings another layer to the gameplay. Because not only is it combat, stealth, investigation, adventure, it's like, you know, mystery and puzzles. And
you're taking this very historical-based game and you're throwing in that mysticism.
Yeah, that mysticism, that paranoia, that questioning.
Templars, assassins, aliens.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
And then you throw religion in there. Like, now it's all messed up.
It's just a big clusterfuck. Yeah. But again, with the newer games, I'm not as well versed with what's going on in the background, but I just feel like it's not as
the newer
enticing.
Games definitely focus more on the story of these historic figures rather than its connection to present day and its relevance. And you just touched on it a minute ago, and that's something that, like, as far as Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and I guess not so much Revelations, but let's stick with 2 and Brotherhood that I loved personally, is when you have this bouncing between time periods. So when you're Ezio, you're in like Italy at its, like the Renaissance Italy at its peak, when everything is clean and pristine, brand new, beautiful, and then you cut to...
the art's being created, like the famous...
Exactly.
You know, all the famous art.
And then you cut to quote-unquote present day as Desmond, and you're like at Monteriggioni, and it's like dilapidated
Ruins,
and fallen apart, like for years has been abandoned. So I personally love that juxtaposition of the new and the old, but at the same time having that connection, that link to the past, if you will.
Yeah.
And to me, like, I think those games, and I can't speak with 100% accuracy because I don't know what the structure was like as far as the development of those games, but I feel like Ubisoft at that point was much more passionate about the product that was coming out, because you could see there was a level of effort and dedication and genuine caring in the game and the structure that for a while there seemed like it was gone, you know? Like, they were just cranking these games out. And
that's why I kind of
lost
track of it.
There was an Assassin's Creed game every year.
And I bet you, like, those other, you know, AAA games that were coming out, I was probably playing those. Because I didn't play everything that happened after, you know, number 2, before number 3. That's where the gap is, right? Where all those other games came out.
Yeah.
I didn't play much of any of them.
Yeah,
because I was just, like, I just didn't have the time to play all of them.
There was, like, the Ezio's story kind of playing itself out, and then they kind of branched off into handheld titles. For a hot minute,
right.
There was mobile games.
That's
I
right.
remember when Brotherhood came out, there was even a Facebook game. You know, back when Facebook and MySpace used to have their own games there.
It's kind of cringeworthy, you know. Just,
you know, at the time it was interesting, but it's just they had their fingers in a lot of pies, and they were spread too thin. I think they lost focus. And I think that's why we're getting this kind of change in direction and format with Origins and now Odyssey, where the Assassin's Creed games are not so much connected to this whole, like, the precursor race and the Apple of Eden, you know? It's taken kind of a almost a reboot, you know, I'd say a soft reboot.
And it's focusing on individuals within certain cultures that still fit the ideals of the assassin.
Yep.
The character you play as in Origins.
I was going to ask you about that. Go on, though.
Right, because Origins, you're back
to be like where it begins.
Right, so you're back in Egypt. It's not as ancient Egypt as I was expecting. It's like 90 BC.
Okay.
Like, it's still a long time ago, but like the pyramids were built 5,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, this is 2,000 years ago.
So it's like the Egyptian civilization has been established for a long
this
time.
is Ptolemy's reign.
Okay.
And he's the pharaoh is expanding influence. So the character you play as used to be one of the magi, which were like the sheriff.
It's like,
you know, the local, you know, the dude from
I know exactly what you're talking about.
From
for 100 years, me and my people.
What is that? The Mummy.
Yeah, it's from the. I was blanking. The heck was the character's name? Okay, we know who we're talking about. Though we're on the same page.
You basically play as that
He's
guy.
Literally a magi.
Yes. Yeah. This guy used to be a magi, and he is at the beginning of the game. You're returning to your town.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, he's back, and he's been on this." Basically, he was ousted when Ptolemy's soldiers came in and took over this region because they're further south. So it was just the pharaoh expanding their territory, and he had to leave. And he comes back, and he's on a revenge quest. And I didn't make it far enough to quite know why, but he's going after these 4 masked people. The 4 masks is what he's referring to them. And the townspeople are just like, we need our magi back. And it's very much like helping the citizens, overthrowing these corrupt guys, only killing the ones that
like a vigilante.
Yeah, only killing the ones that deserve it, and then doing what you must to, like, for your friends and family, and you know, the pursuit of justice. And it's like, I can see. I only made it like 4 hours in, but I'm like, I can see how this character, even if he's not the one to establish the Assassin's Order. You can see the foundation for that, like, creed of lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that the origin is in the Egyptian Magi, because that really, like, kind of fits the bill.
Yeah, I think that's also something that the Assassin's Creed franchise has kind of struggled with. Is there was a hot minute there with Assassin's Creed 3 where there was this idea of, like, betrayal within the Assassin Order. You know, we started looking at it from an alternate perspective, thinking, okay, maybe the assassins weren't the good guys. Maybe the Templar were righteous folk.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that, you know? I think when...
was a good little twist.
It's an interesting twist.
You're like, no, I'm not supposed to give a shit about these guys.
And that's exactly
drilled
the thing.
into my brain
when you don't have a clear idea of who are the good guys and who are the bad guys, when you blur those lines, your story gets muddy and your motivation for characters gets very difficult to pinpoint. I
almost just want to skip to the end at that point. Not the end of the game, just the end of that scene. It's like, all right, well, how do we get back to what I was doing already?
Yeah. It's, oh man, that for me, that is what made Assassin's Creed 3 very difficult to get through. And
I did enjoy hunting all the shit though.
It wasn't a bad game because it introduced
I did enjoy that.
Introduced the hunting.
That exploration was next level.
It introduced
better
new gameplay
weapons
mechanics
and the naval stuff. Basically, it was the game that became
Black Flag.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It took all the Black Flag took all the
I just like
things and made it.
I like the cityscapes of Black Flag a lot. You know, it's getting to that more of a modern era. It's just like kind of grungy, sewagey, desperate children running around the kind of game. I liked it.
Well, it's for me, Black Flag is just a lot of fun because there's so much to do. You know, it's such a huge map. You know,
you can go like diving,
you can dive for treasure.
You can
harpoon wild
animals, all those little side quests and all that.
It's the kind of game that it gives you a lot to accomplish depending on what you're in the mood for, and almost everything you do in that game feels rewarding.
Right?
Mm-hmm. You know, like it. And again, for me, Black Flag didn't so much feel like an Assassin's Creed game, but it was a fun game for what it was, and I think it was a nice kind of break in between, kind of where Assassin's Creed started going wrong and where it started kind of picking up again.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me. It established it as a true open world game. I think because Assassin's Creed has always been very story driven. You beat the game. Why would you keep playing?
Yeah.
You know,
like else to do.
Okay,
I beat the feathers.
I beat the story.
Oh God! Don't even. Let's not talk about that.
I beat the game. Now I can finish renovating these shops and upgrading the blacksmith. And
that was one of those things. Getting back to that feeling of being rewarded for.
I had a lot
progress.
of fun doing that, and
right. But once you beat the story, you're not going to play the game just to do that.
Yeah,
you know. Whereas Black Flag, you beat the story mode. Okay, I can still upgrade the hell out of this ship and just go wreak havoc.
For sharks.
Yeah.
I can still look for treasure. I can still take down enemy ships in the water.
I remember being at work and thinking, "Oh, what am I going to do today?" when I go play Black Flag. You know?
Yeah.
Just how I think about GTA or Spider-Man. Like, oh, I wonder what I'm going to deal with.
I used to just put it after I beat the game. I would just put the game on, load my ship, and fight as many ships as I could until I died, and then when I died, I just turned it off and moved on to whatever else I was playing. I'm going to play this for 20 minutes and just fight 12 ships at a time, and when I sink, and then I'm done. Yeah. And it's enjoyable to just do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It gives you more options than the other games.
For sure.
You played Syndicate, or at least most of Syndicate.
I played a good chunk of it.
That's the most modern the franchise has come
as far as time frame, chronological order.
So how did you feel about that?
Talking 1800s.
You know,
it was 1890s or 1880s.
Yeah, it was Industrial Revolution. So we're seeing the beginning of machinery and steam powered factories, things like that. Cool. To be perfectly honest with you, that game incorporates the use of a grappling hook, and for whatever reason, for a specific reason, that game felt a lot like an Arkham City or Arkham Knight game. You know, just kind of like a steampunk version of it.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
People, you know?
I like the idea of these siblings as the main characters, having a guy and a girl. I think that their motivation
Odyssey will have
was
a guy
interesting.
And a girl to choose from.
Yeah, you get to choose, which is interesting.
Would be a chick.
Yeah. Fun. Because apparently they're easy to render now. But let's not get into that.
I just like playing as female characters because it's a placebo effect. They're more petite, so I feel like I go faster. I just do things quicker as a female.
I don't have as much wind resistance.
Exactly. I know it's not right, but that's how I play my snowboarding games. I'm like, I'll be a chick because I feel like they just go down the hill faster. They don't. They don't.
You know, I would say that Syndicate was interesting in that there's not a whole lot of backstory. They throw you into the action, and then you just kind of go with it. It's almost like when the game starts out, they're like, if you're playing this game, you've been playing Assassin's Creed for a while. You should get what it's about. here you go.
And I bet
That's kind of nice.
I haven't played it, but I'm assuming it trains you as you start.
It was a nice change, but I have to say, from an outsider's perspective, if I've never played an Assassin's Creed game before and I picked that up, I would immediately have been turned off. It would have been very confusing. It wouldn't have been like the tutorials are always there, but again, for what I was experiencing, it kind of left it up to you to like fill in the blanks, you know.
Gotcha.
Which I know that there's kind of two schools of thought regarding tutorials, in that they're either helpful or they're obnoxious, you know.
Obnoxious and you can't skip them.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I kind of felt like, okay, you're giving me a lot of new items in this, fighting with the cane sword and things like that, and having a grappling hook. Like, maybe spend a little more time giving me missions that are going to
utilize that tool.
Exactly.
Yeah, Spider-Man does that great. I hate to bring that up. God, it's my new favorite game, dude. But it has a lot of stuff that reminds me of Assassin's Creed. I'm like,
exactly. The stealth missions in that definitely reminiscent, awesome. And it's awesome. One of those things where it's like there was so much effort that was put into that game over the last few years. They took their time to like really refine.
As soon as I climbed a tower, you can ask Susie this. I climbed a tower, and then it's like you can use your Spidey sense to get a sense of the surroundings. You can pick up on. I'm like, it's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
it's Assassin's Creed.
Spiders, Arachnid's Creed.
It's Arachnid's Creed. He can get up on top of a building, look down, and realistically synchronize all the events happening, all the hidden stuff or non-hidden stuff, whatever. And that's what I do first in every Assassin's Creed game. I find all those points, unleash the whole map.
Yeah.
That way I don't have any obstacle. Or like visual obstacle, because it just turns into fog if you go too deep into like unknown territory.
What would you like to see out of Odyssey? Like, what is something from the games that we've already had that
we're supposed to fight gods and right?
I know you're like a Spartan warrior.
Oh, I didn't hear anything about that.
I don't know about
you're
the
supposed
gods.
to fight mythical gods, yo.
That's cool.
Like
that's
Medusa.
Okay, so that's like
you fight for Athens
Sparta.
Are we talking explicit gods or mythical creatures?
I don't know, man.
Because
one or the other, it doesn't matter.
I haven't heard anything about the gods, but I feel like if that's the case, that's really kind of riffing off of God of War's success a little.
I think it's gonna be like mythical.
And and I have to say, knowing that you play as a Spartan does kind of make me think like
or Athens.
And all I see online is people comparing the two to the Spartan kick from 300.
Okay.
Because that's in every trailer so far, is that, and then the child getting let off the cliff, people are going, it's 300.
Yeah.
Because that shit happened in the movie.
I guess the thing that I would want most from this game is kind of this return to having an explicit Assassins versus Templars story, where it's like there is obviously a plot going on that as an assassin I'm trying to stop. And like with the Ezio series, especially with Assassin's Creed 2, which is, as far as I am aware, regarded as one of the best games in the franchise.
Agreed.
Which one again? Sorry.
Assassin's Creed 2. So Ezio's introduction.
Young Ezio.
Like you're a character whose entire life, like you're very ignorant of something that's obviously been going on for a very long time. So I really enjoyed his kind of discovery of this plot and this organization and his role in it as well.
You grow up with him.
That's true.
Every other game, they're a badass from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This guy,
you see him gain that responsibility.
Yeah.
And kind understanding of the weight of being part of the Assassin's Guild.
Exactly.
Yeah. And someone who's very ignorant to the world around him, to someone who is aware of the world around him, to someone who is shaping the world around him. And I think that experience of growth is something the Assassin's Creed franchise at this point is lacking. I get the idea of like the assassins have been everywhere throughout history, so they're jumping from kind of era to era. I think that to me, that was what made Ezio so successful, is the fact that we had a character that we played as a long period of time. We got to experience his growth and the development of the Assassin's Order and how it interacted with the Templars. I think that we need kind of a return to that longevity as far as a character and their role in the grand scheme of things before we jump off to another culture.
Yeah,
I completely agree with you, but I am afraid that this game is going to be guy doing assassin stuff. And not like an assassin doing assassin stuff.
Because
kind
it's
of
a
how
Spartan
Black
warrior.
Flag was.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he wasn't an assassin.
Yeah,
he just
exactly.
happened to get
He
his
killed
way.
an assassin and
He
took his
just
clothes.
he stealthily kills people, but they call it Assassin's Creed,
Yeah.
you know?
But they're not part of the
Yeah,
assassin
that's
order.
fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Yeah, he's just a really good warrior. That he's,
Right.
you know?
Well,
I'm
that
not
makes sense.
I'm still
yeah.
going to play it. I'm just...
Yeah.
I'm afraid you're going to get let down from what you just said.
No, yeah, and I totally get that.
Yeah, and knowing
Totally
that they're
agree.
part of the army of either Athens or Sparta,
Yeah.
that's where their loyalty is going to be and stuff. But I would like to see that, like,
So do you
that
think
the order is, even if the order, you know, there's like, yeah, they're loyal to their city and their army and stuff, but like they're placed there by the order, so that's the true loyalty. Like some extra layer tying it to
do you
the
think
assassin's
maybe they're going to
order.
have a situation where it's like Sparta is the assassins, Athens is the Templars, where it's like you've got these two major
And then
cities.
depending on who you pick depends on who you play the game
exactly,
as.
exactly.
Can you play the game twice and have it be two different?
Yeah,
completely?
you can have multiple save files.
Well,
You
I
kidding
know,
me?
but I'm
No,
just
you're talking
wondering.
about choosing a path one way.
Yeah,
playing through the
I'm
whole
wondering
thing and
if
then
playing
choosing
the
the other
two
side.
different characters changes
God, I hope so.
what
That
the
would
game
be
is,
really cool.
and not just like the
Yeah.
skin that you're
Oh,
playing the
dude,
game.
I
and you
just
know
hope
what
it
would
won't
be
be repetitive when
super,
you do
super
Well,
cool?
yeah.
If they're really having this thing where it's like he plays either a boy or a girl and it's going to change which civilization you're part of, if their paths cross, and if they had this thing where it's like you've got these almost like, and this
have
is
a baby.
really this is really goofy me bringing it up, but it's coming to mind right now. Spy Kids, where you've got the mom and the dad that are from these two different agencies that when they meet up, they fall in love and they realize like, you know what, we're kind of doing the same thing, like our visions kind of line up, so maybe this war that's going on or whatever, this conflict is completely unnecessary, a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing where they're like,
How
this is
about
ridiculous.
the opposite, where you play the game alternating between one or the other, and then you get to a point where they're fighting and you choose which one gets killed?
I love it.
Or your brother and sister.
No, they already did that.
Well, no, but I mean, granted, I didn't finish the game, but they,
That's true.
as far as I know, they didn't like split up and change
No,
ideals like
no.
an Anakin Obi-Wan kind of
But I
thing.
mean, it's like you're playing as Sparta, and then you play as Athens, and then the stories closely come together, and then these two characters meet, and then it's like on the player to decide like which way the tide is going to turn.
Yeah.
That would be a cool dynamic.
In the trailer, though, for Origin or Odyssey, you see a child who I'm assuming is the player or the person you play as.
Mhm.
But if you choose a girl, is it a girl? And do you see it like play out like Horizon Zero Dawn, where you see like the fucking training from the parent of your
the
character?
tutorial is just you as a child.
Yeah. But
I
either
That was a
Either
good
like
way
that.
to do a tutorial
Either-
now.
either
I
one you
actually,
pick.
yeah,
I
that was
really
one of
liked
the things
that.
about Horizon that I loved, and I
The
think
childhood gameplay.
that actually
It was great.
especially if you're a Spartan. They're trained to be Spartan warriors from birth, basically. You know, especially like looking at freaking God of War.
One with Athens, they would have had extensive education
Yep.
and
Yep.
from a young age. So like you can
And that's
easily
where
play as a
these
kid,
choices might come in.
right?
Would you want to do strategy or brute?
Train your
strength.
mind or your body.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Oh man,
Man, we're just setting ourselves up to be disappointed.
Yeah, I was like, we could
You know,
just be
because
wrong about everything.
we're speculating.
Yeah.
You know,
It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, we'll
It's
find
gonna
out
be
more when it's out, and
Everything
we'll
points to it
experience
being a
for
good
what
game.
it is.
Well, and we are going to. So this game is going to Redbox on release day,
Yeah, they've been.
Whoa!
right?
Yeah.
Which
They're
is rare.
renting for $5.
So I'm going to rent it on Friday, and we'll do a first impressions.
Wait. I switch shifts next Saturday, so I close. I am down to do that with you if you want.
Heck yeah, you guys should meet up. I'll be back home.
Yeah,
But
So
Friday,
you two should
like-
get together.
you should just Skype.
Oh my god!
right? Can you see the screen?
I mean, if you put it, if you stream it, I can watch it.
That's true.
Granted, it can't be that late because I'll have.
Yeah.
No, because
Well,
it'll be
no.
on a Friday. So yeah, stream
Yeah.
it. I'll watch it.
We do it like 6 o'clock on Friday or something.
Yeah.
That
I'm
works.
down.
Sweet.
If anything, I'll get off work at 4:30.
Nice.
I don't think I close that.
4:30 is when I get off. So yeah, on Friday we're gonna make this video,
Stay tuned.
and that'll just be about Odyssey. I keep saying Origins.
Yeah,
They
both
shouldn't
start
it's
with
the
an O.
O.
They shouldn't have had
Oh.
2 back-to-back games. That's
Yeah.
You just call it
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed 6 or something.
Yeah,
why
agreed.
They threw
Agreed.
the numerical system out the
Yeah.
window. They had Black Flag, and then it's just
Well, wasn't it Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag?
Yes.
Yeah, it still had a numeral in it.
It did, and that's because it had the connection to Connor and,
yeah.
You know, the Kenway
Even though it was a prequel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they went so far off the rails with the French Revolution and then the Industrial Revolution and then Egypt.
Then Egypt.
Oh well.
What's next? Modern day New York City.
Dude,
I'm waiting for that game, Assassin's Creed.
Literally been waiting for that since I played the very first game. I want a futuristic Assassin's game with like a laser hidden blade or something like that. Drone technology.
Can I just say I love the scale of Spider-Man?
Oh my god, yeah.
They did like what, every 4th street or something of real Manhattan or something. You know about that?
I mean,
they did like every 4th street.
It wasn't photorealistic, but they did.
Not photorealistic. I'm just talking about the grid.
Yeah.
Grid
I got you. Yeah. They had the districts. They had.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can see like the different neighborhoods as you're flying.
You know, and I guess kind of tying that into Assassin's Creed, that's something that I think these games really need to kind of work with, and Spider-Man's a perfect example of it. Is that you can have an open world game, but you don't have to make it this huge, elaborate world. You know? Not every game has to be Skyrim big.
No.
You know? Scale it down, make it worth exploring, but have everything you need in like a readily accessible way. You know?
And going back to the same place twice is never a bad thing.
No, absolutely not. You know, it breeds familiarity, and it makes you develop an attachment to the world you're in.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I found myself doing like one and done things in Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, that part's
done here.
That part's done. Yeah, never going back over there.
Yeah.
Good point.
So there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot to learn.
It's gonna be
in general. Soon. I'm excited about this game.
Me too,
for sure.
I think
definitely gonna try to get a new PlayStation before that.
Yeah.
Within a week.
Right. Well, it definitely seems like we are at least all fans of the Assassin's Creed franchise.
For sure. I mean, what's not to like?
Yeah. It's one of those franchises that just most people like at least something.
For me personally, I think the biggest thing that I like is the historical relevance. You know, you get exposure to things that you don't always hear about in school, and I love learning new things about that and kind of like seeing the accuracy versus the mythology.
Mm-hmm.
The
older ones fun little inaccuracies too, because like I got kind of Wolfenstein, I'm like none of that happened. It's a fantastic World War II game,
right?
With Nazis, you know.
The older Assassin's Creed games, like the Ezio trilogy especially, like you just walk past something in the map that is, you know, based on a real world thing, and that little icon would just pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you click on that, it's like 5 or 6 paragraphs of what that spot is.
They put the love into
and
it,
it's like,
let you know.
I used to read those. Yeah. After I beat the game, I would just ride around on my horse and just read all of the documents and be like, that's so cool. My parents would be like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, just exploring ancient Rome.
I'm just reading.
Just reading. I already killed everybody, so now I'm just reading.
So, game comes out next week.
Yeah.
We're going to play through it, see what we think about it. Oh, you guys are going to play through it, see what you think about it.
Aaron will play through it.
Yeah. I'm going to play through the first, 30 minutes, and we'll see what we think.
Yeah.
And then we're going to turn it off, and then I'm going to play for, the next 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
Because it's Redbox, and I don't want to pay for one night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments, what are your thoughts? What are your expectations? What have you liked about the franchise so far? What have you not liked about the franchise so far?
Which one's your favorite?
Yeah.
And also, try to make someone smile today.
Yeah, thank you, Miguel. We never really encourage positivity like that. You know,
right?
Be your best self.
Be your best self.
Live
your best life.
Your best life. Be the change you want to see. And as always, stay nerdy.